Hey guys, welcome back. And to kick off this series, we're going to create that tree. Fire up Blender, and you should have everything in front of you here. I want you to press A to select everything, X to delete, and confirm that deletion by pressing Enter. Then I want you to press Shift A to create a mesh, and we're going to create a cylinder. Now we're going to change the configuration of that cylinder. Instead of 32 vertices, we're just going to lower the poly count to about 8 vertices, so make it low poly. Then I want you to go into front view and go into X-ray mode by pressing Shift. So to get into front view, press 1 on the numpad and then Shift Z to go into X-ray mode. Okay, and you can do the same thing up here. So I want you to press Tab to go into edit mode and then press G and then Z to move everything in the Z axis, so we're moving up and down, holding down the control key so we can move incrementally and then move 1 meter above the ground. Okay, so 1 meter above the ground, that's what 1 square represents. Now selecting the top vertices, I want you to press G again and Z to move that up and down, and holding down the control key and move it up 1 meter. So we have a tree that's 4 meters high. With those vertices selected at the top, we want to press S to scale and bring those vertices close in together but not too far in. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit by using my mouse wheel, and now we're going to do some loops. So I'm going to hold down the control and R, and I'm going to use my mouse wheel till I get about 5, and then I'm going to press the left mouse button and press enter or escape. Okay, beautiful. I want some extra loops because I want this pine tree to go zigzagging, so I'm going to put one just above here. So I'm going to press Ctrl R with my mouse there. Yep, beautiful. And then I'm going to left click it and bring it down a bit. And I'm going to do another one here, so Ctrl R, left click, down a bit. Beautiful. I'm going to get rid of this configuration. So now what we're going to do with that selected, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and the Alt key to select this one and the bottom one. Now I'm going to scale. Now if I press S, it's going to scale in all directions, but what I wanted to do is scale in the X and Y planes. So I'm going to hold down the Shift Z and scale it out. So now we have a tree like this slowly forming. Okay, looking good. One for front view. Okay, so I'm going to bring these vertices in. So I'm going to select those vertices and then Alt M and merge to the center. Okay, I'm going to select this face down below. So I'm going to press 3 and then select that face. I'm going to press the I key and do an insert, and then I'm going to bring it to about there. Okay, go back into front view, and I'm going to press E to extrude, but I'm going to press 1, and that's going to say extrude 1 meter, which it has, and press enter. While that face is still selected, or if you haven't selected it, select it, but it should be by selected because we've extruded. 1 into front view, and I want to press S to scale and just bring out that trunk a bit. Okay, so this line here, okay, I'm going to hold down the Alt key. I'm going to go back into edges, so number 2, or you can do it up here, and then I'm going to Alt and select that line, and then G and then Z, and just tuck that under. And I'm going to do it for this one as well. Alt and click, G and then Z, and tuck it under. Okay, starting to look good. So now what we're going to do is if you press Shift Z again, you can go into solid mode. Honestly, it looks like a building still. So we're just going to give it a bit of organic feel now. So we're going to go into vertex. So you're going to go into vertices mode, sorry. So 1 for vertices, and then I want to go into proportional node. So you press either this one up here, or you press O to go switching that on. And then I'm going to select these this one, and this one, these edges. So Alt and left click, Alt and left click. But I'm going to hold down the Shift key this time because I want them all to be selected. So Shift, Alt and left click. And then what we're going to do is press R in the Z axis, so R and Z, okay? And I'm going to expand this. See how, because we've got that proportional switched on at the top there, we get this new circle, okay? And that's controlled by the mouse wheel. And as we turn, anything in that circle will be affected, okay? So I'm going to just turn it a bit more, and just as you can see, it's twisting, okay? It's giving a bit of a twist. Now this is where I want you to just play around a bit. So I'm just going to scale this one out a bit. So Alt and left click that edge and pressing S. I'm going to turn the portioning off. So O to turn that off, S and just scale that out. Yep. I'm going to click Alt and click this and rotate it, and just rotate it just a touch. And then I might click on that one there, pressing O to turn the portioning off, and press G and just move things around. Maybe move this out a bit, move this down. You know, just play around. And I'll see you back here in a moment once you've finished playing around with your tree. Okay, so what I'm also going to do is see these lines here. You can adjust them. So again, Alt and left click to select that whole lines, and then if you press GG twice, you can slide that. It's called an edge slide. Okay, so just slide that where you feel that's good. Okay, do the same thing for this one. Alt and left click, GG. That's correct. Okay, and try it here. Alt, left click, GG. Yeah, that's going to look better. Okay. So I'm just going to get out of edit mode and go into object mode. Have a look. And now we're ready to do some shading. So the next thing I want you to do is, in the description, I provided a file called palette, and we're going to drag that in. So to be able to drag this in, I want you to go into shading, create a new material. So what I want you to do is grab that file and drag it here, connect the color to the base color, and you'll see it's a rainbow kind of color. But what that really is, it's the file has been reduced down to an 8x8 pixel. Okay, to really save memory on texturing these objects in the game. I'm going to go to closest. Then I want you to go into UV edit. Now here's the file over here. If we zoom in, that's what the file is. Okay, very small file, but each one of those represent a pixel. I want you to select everything here by pressing A while you're in edit mode. So tab into edit mode if you're not into edit mode, and then press A to select everything, and all the faces are all represented here. On this side, I want you to press, if you haven't zoomed into it, use your mouse wheel to zoom in. Press A to select everything on this side. Press S to scale and 0, and then left click. Everything's now been reduced to this 1 pixel. And then I want you to press G to be able to move that around. And we're just going to color the tree this color here. Okay, remember to turn this on over here, which is to see our shading. Now, what we're going to do is, so we've just colored our tree. Now we're going to give it a brown trunk. So down here, I want you to go to the faces, the select faces, or press 3, and then click that face there. Now you can hold down the Shift key and select these faces as well, but the fastest way to do this is press Ctrl+, and that selects the next level. Okay, so you can see all our faces selected. And then with that, over here, Press G, and then we want to move that to, let's say, a brown. And there you go. There's our tree. So what we're going to do now is work on the rock. Don't forget to save it. If this video was helpful, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the other videos. If there's any improvements or any other feedback you'd like to give, feel free to, share it in the comments. See you next time.